What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, at this point with the Clippers, the only thing you can do is hope, and that's the only thing they can do. They got to hope Kawhi Leonard comes back. They got to hope Paul George comes back. They got to hope that Zubac and Isaiah Hartenstein can hold down the center position since they let Serge Ibaka go. And they have to hope that Marcus Morris is one of those core players that can stay consistent. And those are really, really big things to hope for, because when you think about the team in its entirety, right now, they're just not a team that a lot of people are looking at as a championship contender, and rightfully so. They don't have their two main hitters. They don't have their two main stars. And right now, they're just trying to stay afloat as much as they can to possibly make the playoffs and avoid maybe the play-in tournament. But either way, even if they do make the playoffs around the 7th or 6th seed or something like that, they're still going to have to play one of those top-seeded teams between maybe the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors, or possibly even the Memphis Grizzlies. And the way Ja Morant is playing right now, it would be really, really tough to knock them off, especially once they get back Dillon Brooks. They'll be even better than what they are now, I believe. So that's going to be a tough out as well. And but either way, you know, the Clippers find a way to get into the playoffs. They're a very resilient team. I expect them to show more fight and grit than anybody can imagine. And I definitely respect what they've done so far. I definitely respect their grind. And I definitely respect the fact that Ty Lue has got this team pushing ahead and forward as much as he can, knowing he doesn't have two of his best players on the floor. What they've done, to be quite honest, has been simply amazing. I mean, because I wouldn't even think that they would even be an 8th seeded team with, you know, with the roster that they have and all the, you know, inconsistencies and the non-playing from the superstars and not being there and the unknown and the uncertainties. Everything surrounding this team, along with COVID and everything like that, they still find a way to be resilient and win games, just as they did last night against Dallas. The night before, Luka goes off of 51 and beat them, and then last night the Clippers came right back and beat them. You know, so it's just they've always found ways to be resilient. And Reggie Jackson's playing, you know, pretty well here lately, and so is Marcus Morris the last couple games. So I don't know if Marcus Morris likes playing against Dallas, but he seems to, you know, always seem to have a decent game or two against them. But it's definitely going to have to be more consistency going forward. It's definitely going to have to be more camaraderie going forward with this team, because they have to build something amongst each other, and they can't worry about whether Kawhi or PG is coming back, because honestly, they've played without them so long now. It's to the point where they don't even really recognize, or they have to just understand that there's a great chance that neither one of them returns. And I think, you know, the more and more they play as a unit, they just understand that. And as the more and more they understand it, the more and more they find value in what they have on the floor and on the roster currently. And it's been very intriguing to watch them, you know, be very resilient and show that fighter's next man up mentality throughout the season. And, you know, you just want to see this team healthy. I mean, I definitely would say if this team is healthy, they definitely would be a championship contending team in next year, 2023. But, of course, you definitely want to see them have the opportunity to win it this year, because this was the year for them to actually, you know, make some noise and, you know, potentially get to a finals and, you know, win a championship. Because as I said before, year after year, it gets harder. It really does. Teams gear up, teams add more players, more trades happen, and teams build chemistry as well. So, I mean, when you look at that in its entirety, if you look at the West is just very, very tough. I mean, it doesn't look like the Phoenix Suns are going nowhere anytime soon. I mean, the way Chris Paul is playing, he might be arguably in the MVP conversation. The way Devin Booker's playing, you think he stole a couple pages out of Kobe Bryant's book. And DeAndre Ayton seems like he's getting better by the minute each game. So when you look at that in its entirety, that's one of those teams they're going to have to try to face to get out the West. I mean, and like I said, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, those players aren't going nowhere no time soon. You know, Luka isn't going nowhere no time soon. Ja Morant isn't, you know, and then, you know, the Warriors, they're not going nowhere no time soon. So it's just a tough road for the Clippers to climb and tough road for them to travel on. But I believe they'll definitely be able to do something if they can, of course, get Kawhi and PG back. But that's such a big if, you know what I'm saying? This season's been a very, very big question mark for this team. And really, it's no other way to put it. The trade of Eric Bledsoe coming into the season was questionable. You know, Serge Ibaka coming back healthy healthy was questionable, other players being inconsistent, COVID, and whether Kawhi and PG is coming back. It's just nothing but a question mark around this team. And sometimes you even have question marks about the front office and some of their decisions in making trades and, things like that, even though they landed a pretty decent one with Norman Powell and Robert Covington. But if that trade is only really going to be complete or a great transaction if and when Kawhi and PG comes back, you know what I'm saying? So you really have to just wait and see how that, trade or transition is really going to pan out when the main guys come back, because it's only going to make their situation more complete and give them a better chance of winning a championship and, doing good things in the playoffs possibly. Now, from my hearings, I hear that, Kawhi Leonard definitely wants to try to come back, even though some around him are encouraging him to wait to next season to come back. Just because of the severity of that type of injury and everything like that. But, hopefully Kawhi does come back this season. Cause like I said, you don't want to have too many lost seasons in regards to like, okay, we had an opportunity to win, but we didn't because, we were injured, or we didn't because of some type of reason that's holding you back. I mean, the Clippers have had a lot of situations throughout their time as a team in the NBA, which is one reason why they've never won a championship. It's always been things happening, excuse after excuse, or whatever the case may be, or some situation happening, or some type of something going wrong. It doesn't matter what you want to look at it as, but it just didn't equate to winning a championship. And this is the time that now for them to do it, because I think they're better than the Suns. I think they're better than the Warriors. I definitely think they're better than the Lakers. I definitely think they're better than Memphis, and everybody else in the West as well when they're healthy. So I don't think nobody will want to see the Clippers if they're healthy, especially not with the two additional pieces that they have. And if they can get consistency out of Marcus Morris, well, they could run right through the West. If you ask me, they would beat everybody in the West 6 games or less if they're 100% healthy, if you ask me. So I would like to see, them take it the distance, make it to a finals, give themselves an opportunity to win. And then, of course, it'd be the first time they actually been in the NBA finals, I believe, as a team. So that would be a great accomplishment for them as well, just getting to one. And see what happens from there. More likely, if they did make the finals, if they were healthy, of course, they probably play maybe either the Bucks, or maybe now they're even 76ers. You got to throw them in there too, or the Nets. But, whoever it is, I'd like to see the Clippers definitely, get an opportunity to go, because they got way too much talent on that team to be wasting it season after season with, injury riddled seasons or some type of something going wrong to where they can't reach to their ultimate success. It's definitely not good to see, especially with a team that has that type of talent that they have. And I definitely want to see my boy Kawhi win another championship. I want to see PG win his first championship. I want to see everybody on the crew win a championship, of course, because these guys definitely deserve it. Night in, night out, they give you more fight and resiliency than any other team in the NBA. And Ty Lue has been a great coach, for this team the last couple seasons. They've been right there. Last year, they were right there on the cusp of going to NBA finals. Kawhi gets hurt, and then it ruins their chances, but he doesn't get hurt. They definitely go to the NBA finals. I definitely believe they win it, because I just think that, Giannis is a great player, but he definitely would have been neutralized by the claw a whole lot more than DeAndre Ayton or anybody else on the Phoenix Suns. So, it's one of those things. You just got to hope and keep hope alive. And you just got to hope that the main guys come back. And that's the main thing. You got to just see how it goes. And I know that's not very, very promising, Clippers Nation, because it's not very promising to me or anybody else. But at the same time, that's all there is to look for. That's all there is to hope for right now. It's for them to come back and try to complete the circle and, try to complete the season that they left incomplete last year in the playoffs. Now, they're missing some players from last year, but at the same time, I still think they're adequate enough to win it if healthy. And I definitely would like to see them get the opportunity, because we know they're good enough. The NBA world knows they're good enough. And I can tell you, the NBA world definitely knows Kawhi Leonard's good enough to put a team on his back and help them win, because he's done it multiple times. He's a great champion. He's a great player. He's an elite player. He's a top 75 player, and he's one of the best defenders we ever seen. So, he's definitely good enough to help carry a team and do those type of things. But the Clippers don't need to wait too long before Kawhi gets a little bit, maybe out of his prime a little bit, before they put him in position to win a championship. But at the same time, he has to be healthy enough for the Clippers to win a championship as well. So they both go hand in hand. But right now, this is the prime of Kawhi's career along with PG. So, Clippers Nation definitely got to get the best out of them. Definitely got to try to get them healthy so they can come back through that door and, put this team on their back and hopefully carry them to a championship and, hey, maybe shock the world and win the thing, win it all, So we just got to hope and see that happens. And definitely we'll start with PG here the 24th of this month, seeing whether his elbow is good enough to go and then just wait on Kawhi and see what happens from there. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.